Japanese scientist Katsuma Dan began his connection with the MBL in 1931, while doing graduate work at the University of Pennsylvania. His main interest was developmental biology, the study of how cells divide, differentiate, and develop into organisms. At the MBL, he had available sea urchins and other marine organisms as his desired model systems. At MBL, he met American Gene Clark, a student in the invertebrate zoology course. Their shared interests brought them together, and they soon became both scientific colleagues and romantic partners. While Katsuma returned to Japan to continue his research at the Misaki Marine Station, Gene remained in the United States to finish her PhD. Upon finishing her thesis, Gene and Katsuma were married in Woods Hole. Afterwards, Gene Clark moved to Japan to continue research together with Katsuma at the Misaki Station. However, due to World War II, Japan was becoming increasingly militarized and suspicious of foreigners, thus creating challenges for their focus on scientific work, which they continued nonetheless. Dan's work on the fundamental processes of cell division were limited due to his use of simple light microscopy. But once he began using more advanced polarized light microscopy technology and working with his graduate student, Shinya Inoué, Dan was the first to conclusively isolate and identify the mitotic spindle that appears during cell division. Gene and Katsuma also co-authored articles on the behavior of the cell surface during division. Then, in early 1945, the Japanese military took over Misaki Station and transformed it into a base for submarines. Katsuma, Gene, and their colleagues were forced to relocate to temporary facilities nearby. Later, when the US military arrived, Katsuma left behind a note on the door, hoping to prevent his research from being disturbed. Wow, it's hard to imagine a situation this tense. This is a marine biological station with a history of over 60 years. If you are from the East Coast, some of you might know Woods Hole, or Mount Desert, or Tortugas. If you're from the West Coast, you may know Pacific Grove or Puget Sound Biological Station. This place is a place like one of these. Take care of this place and protect the possibility for the continuation of our peaceful research. You can destroy weapons and the war instruments, but save the civil equipments for Japanese students. When you are through with your job here, notify the university and let us come back to our scientific home. It's signed, the last one to go. Gosh, these were really difficult times. At the end of the war in August 1945, Katsuma returned to find the laboratory intact, his request having been followed. His sign now hangs in the MBL Hui Library. Apart from their important scientific discoveries, Gene and Katsuma made significant contributions to training generations of new scientists. Katsuma was a professor of zoology, and Gene was a professor of biology at universities in Japan. Throughout, they both maintained strong connections to the MBL and Woods Hole. Katsuma Dan and Gene Clark represent a history of Japanese MBL scientific exchange, including especially instrument development, providing a shining example not only of the global influence of the MBL, but also the capacity of science to transcend national borders and political hostility for the benefit of humanity.